You guys know I've investigated some of the most haunted places on Earth. The Demon House in Gary, Indiana, the Exorcist House in St. Louis. But museums, man, they hold a different kind of energy. We're about to dive into 10 museums around the world where history meets the paranormal. Get ready, because we're about to unlock some seriously creepy true tales. This ain't no Chucky movie, man. We're talking about Robert the Doll, locked away in Key West, Florida. Legend has it this doll was given to a young boy, Robert Eugene Otto, back in 1906. People say the doll would move, talk, even vanish and reappear. Today, Robert sits in a glass case, but visitors still claim he moves. They say, if you disrespect him, if you take a picture without asking permission, you're asking for a world of hurt. The British Museum, home to ancient artifacts and apparently a restless mummy. Staff would come in to find artifacts moved, strange, unexplainable noises. Some say the mummy was so cursed, so filled with negative energy that it couldn't be contained. Did it walk out on its own? Did someone steal it? Or did something more sinister happen? Philadelphia's Mutter Museum, a place where the macabre meets the medical, is home to all sorts of strange and disturbing specimens. But none are as unsettling as the Hurtle skull. People who stare at this skull claim to feel sick, get headaches, even experience nightmares. Deep beneath the streets of Edinburgh, Scotland, lies a network of underground vaults.
And in the shadows of these vaults, a haunting melody is said to echo.
They call him the Phantom Piper, a shadowy figure playing a mournful tune on his bagpipes.
Some say he's the spirit of a young boy who got lost down in the vault centuries ago.
Others say he's a guardian watching over the secrets buried beneath the city. The Smithsonian Castle, that iconic building in Washington, D.C., is practically swimming in ghost stories.
But the most persistent story is about the ghost of the first secretary of the Smithsonian, Joseph Henry.
Staff have reported seeing his apparition, especially late at night, making his rounds through the exhibits.
Some even say they've witnessed objects moving on their own as if being rearranged by unseen hands.
The Bell Witch story is one of the most infamous haunting cases in American history.
This was a malevolent entity that tormented a family for years.
Visitors claim to feel cold spots, hear whispers, experience an overwhelming sense of dread near these artifacts.
The Louvre Museum in Paris, home to masterpieces like the Mona Lisa, is a place of beauty, art, and apparently some seriously unsettling energy.
People have reported feeling physically and emotionally drained after spending time in certain rooms, particularly around the Egyptian antiquities.
Staff have reported disembodied whispers, shadows moving in the corners of their eyes, and an overall feeling of being watched.
The Museum of London Docklands tells the story of the city's maritime past, but beneath the surface of history lies a current of fear. This place is said to be haunted by the restless spirits of those who lost their lives along the River Thames.
Visitors and staff have reported seeing shadowy figures lurking in the darker corners of the museum.
The Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto houses an impressive collection of Egyptian artifacts, including mummies, sarcophagi, and ancient relics. But with these treasures come whispers of a curse, a malevolent energy that followed them from the sands of Egypt.
Museum guests and staff have reported all sorts of strange happenings around the Egyptian exhibits. Cold spots, feeling like they're being watched, even the sensation of being touched by unseen hands.
Chicago, a city with a dark and tragic past, from the Great Chicago Fire to the horrors of the Eastland disaster. And the Chicago History Museum, a place dedicated to preserving the city's history, seems to hold on to these tragic events in a way that's both fascinating and terrifying.
Visitors and staff have reported seeing the ghostly apparition of a young woman in a white wedding dress, her face obscured by a veil, weeping softly as she wanders the halls.
We've journeyed to some of the most haunted museums on Earth, places where the veil between our world and the other side feels thin. But remember, these are just a few of the countless stories out there. Museums, man, they're like portals to the past. So the next time you're wandering through a museum, wandering through a museum, pay attention. You never know what you might encounter.